Friday morning, social media friends, and all of you who have graced myself, many of my relationships who have guest appeared with me in this short run video podcast series that's headlined New You, New Job, and New Home. The reason why I started this short run video series is because one of my frequent guests, you'll see her shortly, Catherine, we were trying to help bring together two of our relationships. And rather than do it the good old fashioned way of like doing a joint email, a joint text, that would have been the easy way out. I said to Catherine, I said, hey, let's invite them to participate in this short run video podcast series. So that was the driver behind that. But all of that being said, the real reason why I wanted to share my time to curate the right relationships, to share those relationships with all of you watching is because if, as part of the start of 2024, you're trying to get to your new you, you're trying to get to a new job, and last one, you're trying to get to your next home, our live stream conversation is all about helping you to accomplish those goals. So all of that being said, one of the things that's very important in what I do, which is financing the purchase of real estate with buyers, contrary to popular belief. It is not about having rock star credit. It is really about the tagline, short phrase from the movie Jerry Maguire. It's really that of show me the money. And for that reason, it always boils down to, well, hey, what's your income streams, plural, look like? Do you earn income? Do you have passive income? So for that reason, today, I want to share with you one of my relationships. You may have seen her already. She's going to talk to us about what is going on with the employment market, right? So let's warm her up. I see her getting ready to show up in the studio here. And for that reason, she's going to talk to us about the new job that you want because you hate your boss, you hate the culture, or maybe your company got bought out. Last one, you just want to make more money. Nothing wrong with that. So let's welcome Debbie Jackson into the room. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Bill. Thank you for that great introduction. And yes, all of those reasons are some very great for wanting to find a new job. And I have jobs. We have many. Sterling Engineering has over 500 jobs we're looking to fill.
Oh my God, 500?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me start off with one simple question. Is the employment market very tight?
Yes. The unemployment rate right now is under 3%. So typically when it's that low, everyone that we want has a job. And so unless, like you said, there's been mergers, there's been buyouts, there's stuff going on, which is great for us because then we find some high quality people that are forced to be looking for a new job. So we like that. But of course, right now we're having a tough time. There's not enough people out there to fill the jobs we have.
Yeah. So for all of you young people, that might be, that's a relative term. Debbie, you're quite young. So for all of you younger people who may be scratching your head like, well, I can't seem to find what I want to do and along the way earn income, you're here at the right place. So let's lean in some more and hear more from Debbie. So Debbie, here's what I think I know. The company that you're a part of, it's a women-led business. But the interesting thing that I picked off is you guys are the conduit for these income opportunities, for these jobs that range from STEM professionals all the way to white collar, high end leadership positions, correct?
Yes, everything.
Okay. So let's talk about the STEM stuff. Because your company's name is Sterling Engineering, it'd be very obvious to kind of pick apart that, hey, you probably recruit staff and place a lot of engineering talent, correct?
Yes, we do.
Talk to us about that. Is it the engineers that build stuff? Is it manufacturing? Is it electronics? Talk to us about that.
Yes, we started out actually as an engineering company, and that's how we started. So we had engineers that would go into companies and they would help redesign a tool. They would help do their floor process improvement. They would help do drawings, and that's how it started. And then little by little, we got into the staffing because everyone where we put an engineer, they'd want to steal our engineers. So we have a bunch of engineers that will go into your company in manufacturing and help them. And we also find engineers for them to work at that company permanently. So
That's
we
an
have both
interest-
sides.
That's an interesting problem your leadership kind of pivoted and solved, which is, hey, well, stop stealing our engineers. Well, guess what? We'll help you this way. We'll give you engineers, whether it be temp, contract, or permanent, but you're going to pay us. I love that story. All right.
Yep.
Let's go to the other pillar, the other extreme of professionals that you guys recruit and staff. I've heard this before from you when we've met in person and also as part of catching up with each other, which is this profession, this title. It sounds so high end. Regulatory affairs. What does that person do?
Okay. Well, it's in automotive and aerospace. Regulatory is tough, but I work on the life sciences team. So that's anybody that makes a med device product, or like in a surgery, a robotic arm or something that you would use in med device, and or a pharmaceutical. So this is highly regulated by the FDA. So you have to prepare documents and you have to prepare submissions to these regulatory bodies to make sure that the things you're doing, because a pharmaceutical product is going into somebody's body and
Right.
or a med device is being used on a person, all of these things have to jive with registrations and tech files and documentation to show that the company is doing everything that is up to snuff. So
And so one of these regulatory bodies would be, for example, I'm guessing, the FDA, Food Drug Administration, for the pharma companies, correct?
yes, correct.
Yeah.
And there's all these titles and registrations that you have to follow. And there's there's Six Sigma, there's Lean, there's
Yeah.
ISO, all different types of things that have to be followed when you
Yeah.
work in those kind of industries.
That makes sense. And by the way, I'm going to give you my 2 cents worth, audience members. Why is that position so sought after and probably, I'm going to guess, pretty well paying? It's because here's my consumer's 2 cents worth. How many of you, when you're watching TV on demand, if you're not a cable person, whatever your story is, how many of you now see more and more pharma ads promoting drug 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So that makes sense to me. Thank you for sharing that. So for those of you younger people who don't like where you work because of leadership, don't like the culture, hey, that's fine. You got to look for your vibe. And or your company just got acquired and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to be redundant." Or last one, your worth, you believe, is much more than what you're getting paid today. Hit up Debbie Jackson with Sterling Engineering, because of this entire gamut of professions that they are recruiting and staffing for. You just might find yourself lucky enough to benefit from having this conversation with Debbie. So, Debbie, thank you for sharing that today.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you for
you're
allowing me
welcome.
on your program. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Let's now fly down to Costa Rica. Here we go. And the reason why I'm flying you guys down to Costa Rica is because I want to bring into the conversation one of my newer relationships a guy named Travis Comstock. I live vicariously through him. As you can see, Travis is in Costa Rica. Unlike me, he's got a short sleeve shirt. He's got sunshades on. And Travis, you used to be in the corporate world selling medical technology stuff, right? Oh, you're muted. Hang on. Try again. No, I can read your lips, kind of though. You can't hear us. I'll tell you what, we're gonna have fun today. Don't worry about it. Our audience members will read your lips. So here's my first question to you. What is your lifestyle like now in Costa Rica compared to when you lived up in the upper Midwest of the USA? Obviously, you got rid of all of your winter clothes. I know that much, right? Okay, all right.
He's sorry.
So he's going to come back in. So let's now bring in one of my frequent guests. Heck, I should just ask her, and I just might, after today's episode, I might just ask her to commit her time to co-host stuff with me because she's just damn good. So before we bring her in, let me tease all of you audience members with one of the many things that she does, but it's very, very specific. So for some of you who may be going through the life event, it happens where you're looking to your next chapter. You're separating from your ex-spouse. Catherine helps those of you mama professionals get to that next chapter. So let's bring her into the conversation. Catherine, how are you?
Hey, Bill. Hey, Debbie. Hey, everyone. I am well. How are you? As well as one can be with the snow today.
I know. Mother Nature had to throw one more jab at us before, we all say, hey, get out of here. So Catherine, because I know given one of your many talents and skills, you help households get to their next chapter from a life event that can occur, right? Separation and a divorce. And I know with your other set of skills, you help those mama professionals get to their next chapter. What are the top 3 obstacles that you consistently help them overcome?
So, obviously, every case is different. Every case has its own facts. Every relationship has its own circumstances and idiosyncrasies, right? So, some couples are going to be, let's say, between 20 and 30. Others are going to be 30 and 40. Others
Right.
maybe 50 and 60. You might have a situation where there are minor children, or there are no children, or there are adult children, and there's going to be different things happening. There's going to be different things that folks are either going to agree to or argue about, and essentially be ordered to act in a certain way. So with that being said, I'm going to say that there's going to be, I'm going to say 4 categories, right, that
Okay.
come up often. I know you've asked me for 3, and kids may not apply to all of them. However, I'm going to, just as a blanket statement, talk about kids, their relationship with kids, right? There's going to be changes in scheduling. There's going to be an element of getting used to, if you have minor children, not having your kids at home every day, figuring out how to navigate vacations, planning to be out of state, planning moves, planning extracurricular activities, pick up and drop off, things that we may, I don't want to say take for granted, but the conversation may be different when you're living
Yeah.
in one household versus 2 households.
True.
2 additional elements and elements that we can consider together are finances and jobs, right?
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
some women who have been staying home with minor children who are now in a situation where they are, if they're in the state of Illinois, going to get child support. Right.
Mhm.
However, they're not automatically going to get spousal maintenance. And there's going to be a number of factors that are going to play into this, whether the parties agree or whether there needs to be a hearing with a judge ordering that XYZ is going to happen or XYZ amount needs to be paid, by one spouse to another spouse with regard to spousal maintenance, formerly known as alimony. So, there's this navigation of figuring out, what have I got? What do I need to pay for the things that I'm paying for?
Right.
If I haven't been in the job market, how do I go about, getting a job? What are the skills that are transferable? What skills can I use? Where can I go? How much can I make? These are the questions that are coming up for a lot of the women.
Yeah.
In addition to the fact where you may have, I'm bilingual Polish English. I have clients who are Polish speaking. I have clients who have come over who've been married in Poland, who have been married for, 20, 30 plus years and are in a different stage of their life and ends up being that they are finding themselves, in a divorce or separation situation. And a lot of these folks are not necessarily familiar with US laws. They are, comparing, well, this is what I understand from my home country versus this is what's going on here. You may have one party trying to take advantage of the other party with kind of fear mongering, saying, well, you didn't work. You're not going to get anything. Well, you drank
Right.
all these years. You don't deserve anything. And it's like, no, we got to look at ourselves here and now. We got to look at, who has what and how we can divide it. Because at the end of the day, if someone decided to stay home 15 years ago and the other stayed and they both stayed together and worked it out as a marriage, then the work, raising the kids, keeping house, being able to support everything so the other one can earn a living through their job is still a part of the marriage, is still a part of marital assets. If 25 years ago someone, drank a lot and has since gone through AA and is now sober, well, that's all well and good. But, 25 years ago when you decided to stay and help them through that, that was your marriage. Today, this is your marriage. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of discussions about elements like that. And finally, I don't think it's going to come to a surprise to anyone that there may be an element of dating, right?
Yeah.
Or dealing with a new significant other. And younger folks, may not be in that position where either I just want companionship or I need a break or I want whatever. I mean, you're young, you're virile, you want to go out, you want to have fun, you have these newfound free days where your kids aren't home. You can go and have a good time, right? But at the end of the day, especially when you do have kids, there's a lot of factors. When do you introduce a certain partner to your kids, right? Do you have that in your parenting agreement? What if your, ex is introducing partners to your kids? And there's a lot of things that are going to come into play. If you're getting spousal maintenance, when you start cohabitating with someone or when you're married to someone else, that terminates, right?
Yeah.
So there's elements, and I suppose that can tie back to finances in some aspects, but I definitely say that these are kind of the four core elements that keep coming up in a lot of these cases. Obviously, when folks don't have kids, the kids element isn't coming up. But whether your kids are minors or just emancipated or grown, there's going to be some element of kids. Maybe you have adult children who are living in the household. Now you're selling the marital household to split the proceeds to be able to get something of your own. And now you've got, an adult child who's like, well, how do I fit in? And you're kind of like, well, you got to figure it out. Or one
Sure.
or the other of the couple may be in a position to allow them to live in their new place. However, the adult children are not parties to the lawsuit. So it isn't that an adult child can come into the mediation or the courthouse and say, hey, I'm an adult child and I'm now not going to have a place to live in. The judge is going to say, well, you're 42, you're employed, you're not disabled, you're an adult. Like, that's
Yeah.
not my problem.
Right. Right.
So, but in the reality of the relationships, it's something that the mamas are going to be concerned about if that is what's going on, right?
Yeah.
As well as, how am I going to pay for all the things? A lot of times the marital home ends up being sold because maybe one of the spouses is not able to refinance and afford to upkeep that home with all of its payments over the course of the year, insurance, real estate taxes, utilities, whatever. So maybe they're going to both downsize. Well, then and again in the dating, depending on where they are in their lives and how they want to go about that, it may take a while. There may be, thoughts and feelings that are stopping them from doing this, yet there may be other thoughts and feelings or, biological needs that they want to fulfill. So these are, I think, the 4 topics that are coming up most often for these mamas.
You are absolutely right. And it's a complicated situation. And so for you mamas and papas who are moving to your next chapter, by the way, if you were the stay-at-home parent, and of course you're looking for your next gig, your next source of income, once again, hit up Debbie Jackson. I'm sure she can start a conversation with you to reposition your skills for your next chapter. And for those of you who are going into your next chapter, there's no kids involved, and you just happen to ponder, hey, I want a brand new dating pool. Well, let's bring Travis Comstock back into the room. Travis, how are you, buddy? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me this time?
We can hear you fine now. So, Travis,
Sorry about that.
We were teasing the audience so that we could bring you back into the conversation. So as Catherine mentioned, the mama and papa that unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, divorce, and one of them decides, I am tired of the US. I want to fly down to Costa Rica. And as I've shared with you many times, I live vicariously through you, Travis. What is the lifestyle of Costa Rica that offers this new person? Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, definitely more laid back lifestyle. It's kind of interesting because I'm obviously new to Remax here, building a business. So for me, it hasn't felt like a lot of change from when I was, in Chicago working, grinding. But just in general, it's just more of a Pura Vida vibe. You hear it all the time. It's more laid back. It's every day sunny, so I think that helps a lot with the mood. I know that personally puts me in a great mood, even on dark days. It's still sunny. It's hot. It's kind of funny. Yesterday, I was out watching March Madness. I think I'm the only person here that cares about college basketball, to be honest with you. But found a restaurant bar to put it on the screen for me, and I heard thunder, and I looked out, and it was raining, and I ran outside along with probably 10 other people and just stood in the rain. It was so awesome. It's been so hot. Each day has been about 90, 92, and that puts you in, the feeling of 95, 97. So we're right in the middle of the summer here. So rainy season, we got a few more months to go before it kind of cools down a little bit.
Gotcha. Talk to me about this. For the buyers of real estate in Costa Rica, are a large fraction of them cash purchases? What have you figured out since you've landed there?
Yeah, it is mostly a cash market. I've met with several, I guess you would call it hard money lenders. I met with a few banks here. So it's not impossible at all. If you can qualify for a mortgage in the States, chances are you can qualify for a mortgage here. It's just going to come with some headaches. It's a cumbersome process. Interest rates are going to be a little bit more expensive, what we're used to in the States. Although, now with what they are in the States, I think it's a little bit more realistic to hear. It's not that much higher as it was, 5-6 years ago, or even 2 years ago. But yeah, most people do have the cash if they're coming to purchase, whether that be, they sold something, they liquidated. Home equity line of credit is obviously a huge vehicle to free up cash, and there is a lot of equity right now in the state. So I feel a lot of people are using equity to come down here with cash to buy. And then if it's straight up investment, I'm actually on a call later today with a few Canadian buyers and American buyers actually who are looking into self-directed IRAs. As a way to purchase. So, but you can get financing. Like I said, it's just it could be a headache. It can be more of a challenge of what we're used to, in dealing with the States.
Gotcha. Thank you for answering that question. And audience members, if you might be that couple that has completed their divorce, or you need to complete that divorce with attorney Catherine's help, real simple. Just make sure Catherine helps you net out the settlement, the dollar amount that's necessary to pay cash buying real estate with Travis. And by the way, for those of you who are baby boomers who have adult children that happen to live in your home, and you're like, you need to go away, so to speak, because I want to go down to South America, learn Spanish, wear short sleeve t-shirts, shorts, sandals like Travis is doing, and you're wondering, you're concerned about your adult children. That's the other solution I brought here today in this video podcast series. Simply hit up Debbie Jackson. She will help your adult kids find their next job so that they can be their own person, sustaining themselves for the future. So, ladies and gents, Travis, as I always say, live vicariously through you. Yes, March Madness has started, so maybe you'll bring that whole passion down to Costa Rica with some of your new friends there.
I can try. That's all I can do. And back out. I have a meeting this morning, and then basketball starts in about an hour here. So
there you go.
Hopefully try to catch the early games. And I love the way you connected us all, Bill. Congratulations. That was phenomenal.
Thank you. When I'm not in the business of making and delivering mortgages, I am a closet entertainment producer. There you go.
I love it.
So, audience members, for those of you who have shared your time with us, watching our previous 5 episodes of New You, New Job, and New Home. And by the way, if you didn't watch any of them, hey, welcome to the world we live in today. You can binge everything. That's what I do. So feel free to binge watch all 6 episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last final episode of this short run based on your feedback, because I'm asking for it. If you've enjoyed this, please drop your virtual comment into the live stream, into the social platform that you're consuming this content from, because it is from your feedback that if you enjoy it, we'll bring this back at the start of next calendar year, 2025. So Travis, Debbie, Catherine, you guys have a great Friday. And until I see you, guess what? In the next launch of the same series next calendar year. That's it, everyone.